amazes me. Hey, I'm back. Okay, here we go. So anyway, here's the Hurricane Center. By the way, all the internet and services down here are they're a mess. Anyway, Cat 5, high Cat 5, going to stay Cat 5 probably through tomorrow night. It weakens a little bit tomorrow night, then goes back, as it hits the loop current, goes back to Cat 5 after eye wall replacement cycle, what the model says. Cat 5 to Cat 4, back before landfall. Basically, it's going to be a catastrophic storm surge, catastrophic hurricane, peak surge. Now, let's see what they've got up to now. 10 to 15 feet Tampa Bay. I'll have more data with that later on tonight, tomorrow, which is even going to be higher res. I can't show it to you right now, but I think there's parts of the bay, depending on if it makes, does it come into Tampa Bay? Does it go over Tampa? Does it go 10 miles north of downtown Tampa? Does it go 10 miles south of downtown Tampa? It's going to make a massive difference on what the storm surge does here. St. Pete to just west of the Tampa International Airport is a current trajectory. Somewhere on this backside of this bay, this back northeast from downtown Tampa, back east, you can be upwards of 15 foot, could be upwards of 20 feet, depending on the exact track through the Bay Area, right? 5 or 10 miles is going to make it a $1 trillion disaster or a $500 billion disaster. You heard me right. A $1 trillion disaster or a $500 billion disaster is about to unfold in 48 hours across Tampa through Orlando. Okay. And by the way, on this update, if you got any small kids or people you want to hear it, I'm going to be very brutally honest on this broadcast. And if you don't want to hear it, turn it off, because I'm going to tell it like it is. And I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen. And it's not going to be pretty. So this, the most concerning thing is here, the model's updated again at 18Z. It takes the Hurricane Hunter data and says, hey, I'm at Cat 5, I'm 150, 155. What are you going to do with me now? Then I'm up to Cat 5. Next 48 hours, I'm basically 36 to at least until Wednesday morning. I'm a 5, and then sometime probably before noon Wednesday, I'm just dropping both from 5 to high 4. So these models say now, as of today, it's going to be a 5. A weakening 5 or a 4 as it comes toward Tampa Bay late Wednesday. Okay? I don't know if it's going to make landfall as a high 3. I think it's going to make landfall as a mid to high Cat 4. And I think the winds are going to be stronger than what the NHC forecast was, which just came out. If you look back here southwest of us, at 2 o'clock, winds 144. You can't see that, I'm sorry. 144 to 170, gust to 173 at 2 o'clock. Okay? Cat 4. I think it's going to be every bit as that. Tampa, after it's already across St. Pete Beach, Treasure Island, just south of Clearwater, just north of Bradenton and Sarasota. If it comes into the bay right here, appreciate your support. 127, gust of 155. Okay? Guys, exactly how the eye wall replaces, how big the eye is it 10 miles across, is it 20 miles across? It's going to make a big difference on how this water either surges in the bay or exactly what happens, right? As the hurricane approaches late in the day on Wednesday or Wednesday afternoon, the hurricane approaches, you're going to have offshore flow. The winds will be screaming out of the east, northeast, going back southwest. The bay may even go dry or less water in it during the early in the day as the winds are screaming out of the northeast, going back to the hurricane because on its approach is coming in from the southwest, like kind of southwest down here. So the winds are going to be screaming on the northeast, flowing into it like a big vacuum cleaner. They're going to be surging that way. As the eye gets closer, the winds will come back around to the east, and then southeast, and then south, and then southwest. The biggest problem where the mass damage is going to occur, and not only in storm surge, but it's going to be, as the eye, comes in ahead, there'll be probably about 3 hours to 4 hours before the eye makes landfall. You're going to have this big surge of water coming up. There's already 35 to 40 foot waves ahead of the eye down there now. And what you have to understand in the Cat 5, when you have a Cat 5 hurricane, it's like literally like throwing a boulder in a pond. If you had your bathtub and you dropped a 5-gallon bucket in your bathtub, where's that water going to do? It's surging, right? So that's already going. It's a high Cat 5. The ocean has got those waves are coming. They're coming northeast. You're not going to stop. It doesn't matter if this thing goes from a 5 to a 4 to 3 for landfall. Those Cat 5 storm surge and waves are coming. There's nothing going to stop them. Okay, I mean, this is absolute what's coming. You've got to understand, there's going to be large battery waves start coming ashore not the storm surge, but even late tomorrow, big, huge battery waves starting south at Fort Myers, down at Naples, and then back south of here. As they start coming up, you're going to have large battery waves starting late in the day, and they're going to intensify as you get into tomorrow night, and as you get into Wednesday, the waves are going to get stronger and bigger. The water is going to get higher and higher with huge waves on top of them. Those waves, as they approach the coastline on Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night, I'm talking about along the beaches, all the way from Tampa, St. Pete, south of Clearwater, out where they had damage a week ago from Herline passing back to our west here. You're going to have large battery waves. You're going to collapse piers. You're going to break boardwalks. The marinas are going to get destructed. I expect many houses along the barrier islands and the coast areas are either going to be flattened with storm surge, or the large battery waves are going to knock the houses down. That's before the 150-mile-an-hour winds get in there, 170-mile-an-hour winds get in there tomorrow or late Wednesday. That's going to do massive catastrophic damage. Just the wind alone is going to do massive damage. Okay. So you don't want to be anywhere on the Barrier Islands. You want to be totally out of Tampa Bay, completely out of Tampa Bay. So anyway, as that happens, so then the key is going to be, one of the keys is, Tampa Bay, I think, is going to have I think you're going to have a Cat 4, maybe even a high Cat 4 at landfall. This is my personal opinion. It's not official for it. This is what I see of the data, and the data tells me it's getting worse and worse and worse on each update. Look what happened today. It went from a tropical storm to a Cat 5 in a little over 24 hours, right? So I cannot stress enough how bad this is going to be. It's going to be like a Katrina type event. I mean, Tampa's about to have the Katrina of the disasters here, right? I think there's going to be mass destruction here. I think there's going to be mass damage here, from here all the way to Orlando with wind damage. I think there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people trapped here, both in buildings and high rises. I expect many people to be on the rooftops come Thursday morning. And I think I'll just say it right now. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. And if I do, then I'll retract what I'm getting ready to say. But I think it's going to turn into a mass casualty event. And before it even happens, I'm going to tell you, I think there's going to be a massive loss of life here, because I think there's so many people here that have never been through a hurricane. You have not been through a hurricane like this is coming to Tampa in 120 years. You have never experienced what's going to happen to this city. All right. It's going to be catastrophic. There's going to be catastrophic damage, and it's going to be a mass casualty event here. I mean, you can't tell you how bad it's going to be here, guys. It's going to be horrible. Damage. The power will be out here for weeks or months from Tampa southward, south of the I, 30 to 50 miles, all the way over to Orlando. There's going to be massive power outages, and it'll probably last over a month, right? Many houses and buildings in the Tampa area down to Sarasota will be uninhabitable. You will not be moved back in your house or condo. Many buildings, especially the older ones that have not been fortified to Cat 5 glass, in the Tampa area, a lot of the high-rise buildings, you're going to blow out the windows. You're going to blow out the furniture, 5 stories, 10 stories, 15 stories up. You're going to blow out the glass. You're going to blow out the windows, right? That's what's coming. Guys, this is horrific what's going to happen here, okay? I can't tell you how dire and how bad this is going to be here. You're going to hear me. I'm going to tell you like it is. That's what I'm known for. I don't pull no punches. I just tell you like it is. I'm sorry. What's going to happen here is going to be horrendous. It's going to be horrible. It's Tampa southward down to Sarasota, all the way down to Venice, also including Fort Myers. You're going to have catastrophic storm surge down there as well. Also, just the whole coastline, West Coast, is going to have massive damage, massive wind damage, and massive catastrophic damage, right? There's not much else I can tell you. Wednesday, early, the tropical storm force winds come in tomorrow night down south, move across the state. There's going to be a lot of tornadoes also during the day on Wednesday. Our model, the Barron model, and other models show long track tornadoes coming out of central Florida, down in southern Florida, moving up toward Orlando in the afternoon, late morning, early afternoon. So you're going to have tornadoes in the outer bands. So this is going to create a lot of problems, right? So anyway, I think the main thing is that you gotta think long-term, not short-term play. So you got to flee the water, right? So we got to get out of the water storm surge. So you're here on Friday and Thursday because you didn't drown, right? That's my message. You got to flee the water. You got to get to higher ground, move inland 10 or 15 miles, go to a safe place where you're out of the storm surge, right? That's going to be the first thing. The second thing is going to be, are you getting a well-built house or a well-built structure? Hopefully it's something that's Cat 5 certified, something that's got thick concrete walls, somewhere you can hide interior, get to the lowest floor, but out of the storm surge. Those are the kind of things you need to be thinking about as you get into late Wednesday into Thursday, right? So if you can survive the hurricane and you don't drown, then it's like, what's going to be like days and weeks after? Well, if you're without power, and I would say a pretty strong highly likelihood that power will be out here at least weeks, if not months, in the most destructive areas. Do you want to stay in that for 30 days? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. But anyway, I would say that that's the kind of stuff you need to be thinking about for your family. It's hard to move. It's hard to vacate. I get it. But if this thing comes in as a 4 and the current winds that the NHC's forecasting, this is their numbers, not mine, their current winds, the current trajectory for Tampa downtown, the eyes just west of Tampa International Airport. I'll flip the camera around here. This is their numbers at 2 a.m. in the morning. 127, right there, 127, gust to 155. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, I was in construction in Tulsa for about 20 years. I built commercial buildings. I built houses. I built estate properties. I built single stories, 2-story homes, 3-story homes. And I can tell you that you have no idea what's going to happen here. It's going to be like you can't imagine. All these buildings down here, some of them have Cat 5. There's a number of buildings and high rises in the St. Pete area. They're under construction with construction cranes. Those are going to be coming down. Even though they're certified, the top of the cranes will free turn, which will mean they will spin automatically. But I think a lot of the construction cranes, there's buildings downtown St. Pete that are like half constructed, like they're open on 3 sides. A lot of the winds, when they get 120 to 150 downtown, that wind's going to blow through those buildings and they're going to blow off that glass, and any construction debris on any of those 20 floors, they're going to become projectiles downtown here. They're going to go through all these other buildings. 100% it's going to happen. This water down the bay, when the winds are out of the east or east-southeast, the water from the east side of the bay will come to the west side for the first storm surges, the ice coming up. This will be the area that goes underwater first, right? So that's going to happen. A lot of these trees, palm trees, a lot of the trees here will be on the ground. They'll be flying. These will be flying missile debris. All these poles. The light poles are going to break all over the city. That's the kind of stuff that will happen, right? So anyway, that's the stuff that's coming. There's just families today. There's people out here walking, enjoying this beautiful, beautiful evening. We're about 48 hours away from a mega disaster, right? Got some storms off to the east and southeast. You can see the bay's kind of choppy. It's been choppy the last 40 days. The winds are picking up out of the east-northeast, probably 30 miles an hour, 25 to 30. Winds are already gusty. They're going to get way stronger starting tomorrow, and then tomorrow night, and then in the Wednesday they're going to really pick up. So anyway, pressure's down to 898. Okay, people are dinging me. Pressure's going to get down to 898 now. So it's a very high Cat 5. It's broke a lot of records today, guys. And so anyway, that's it. So what I'm going to do, let's go back to the truck. You know what? How's the audio here? Is the audio okay? Is the audio okay? Decent? Okay. It's okay? Okay. Yep. Yep. Audio's fine. Okay, that's good. Wind's picking up. You never know about the wind, right? So I'm in a Cat 5 certified location that's nearly built with rated Cat 5 hurricane winds. I just went over with the management, hotel management, about the building, and we did a tour of the building, outside, inside, and what's going to go flying, what's not. They did a really good job securing a lot of things, but there's a lot of things that are still going to come flying off the building that they're fixing and addressing right now. And but we looked at the surrounding buildings, what's going to impel the building. If other things across the street, like air conditioners on top of roof, apartment buildings nearby, are going to come. They're going to come ripping off. That's the old style buildings. They've got these big air conditioners that are bolted down on top of the roofs, but most of them are going to come flying off, right? So anyway, that's what's going to happen. Anyway, the best news is just stay safe. Listen to the warning. If you're under evacuation orders, evacuate. Got this little guy here. He's like, yep. I think he thinks I have food. He's waiting for some food. He thinks I've got something I'm going to give him, what he's looking for. The storm surge is going to be pretty bad. Where I'm standing now will be underwater. In just a little over 48 hours, it'll be underwater. So anyway, um, that's really it, guys. There's nothing else. I mean, there's hurricane warnings, tropical storm warnings, surge warnings. There's like just about everything. Just about everything as bad as you can think of. It's bad, right? I mean, it's not much else you can say. It's just gonna be a really bad event. Unfortunately, it's these two big mega disasters, in, a week and a half or a week apart, are just what do you say? It's just it's pretty bad. I'm trying to think of anything else to talk about. Oh, if you're in Tampa Bay, Sarasota, down to Fort Myers, that whole West Coast area on the coast, grab the things you absolutely cannot replace, right? The pictures, your insurance papers, cars, try to evacuate, get those out of the storm surge area. If you save your life and save your family, you can come back and rebuild, even if it's not back here or wherever, right? It's you got to think of your family. You got to think of your the elderly people. If you got family members down here, you need to evacuate them, right? Nursing homes, evacuate. The evacuation today was so massive here. It's unbelievable how big of evacuation was here today. Interstates are totally gridlocked. I haven't looked, but I've been stuck in traffic for about 8 hours a day. It's been insane here. The traffic's just been really heavy. Matter of fact, here's a current view of the current traffic around the Tampa Bay area. It's letting up on the West Coast here. Everybody's surging out, in the outer areas now. You can see all the red. And so it's surging out. And so you can see all the areas of Orlando, all 75 northbound. There's Miami, they're getting a big influx of people from there, going over there, telling me that there's a surge. Thousands of people from the West Coast have surged into Miami. I've had a couple of hotels that I've helped out for years call me. They're in South Beach, and tell me that they were just flooded with people coming in from the West Coast, families, and the impact. Yeah. Gridlock. Overnight, they topped off the gas stations around the area. So I saw a lot of gas stations open today, pumping gas. There's 50 to 100 cars at a lot of gas stations, but they were papering up. But yeah, papers, insurance papers, emails, and cash. Go get cash out tonight. Go get cash tonight before you leave town. Cash, and because cash is paramount, right? If you have if you have cash, and you gotta have cash, to buy gas or buy food, because there's power. Because I expect power to be out in this general area wherever the core of the hurricane comes through, weeks. And if stores open and they've got medicine, cash, anything important, Ziploc bags, absolutely. Think about your furry animals, the dogs, cats. It's all of it, guys. It's unsettling what's going to happen. It's you have to remember that what I think the last number I heard was 4.8 million, roughly just almost 5 million people in the Tampa metro area, around this general area. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And you're probably closer to about 8 million, maybe 9 million people are going to be affected from Tampa through Orlando, the core where the track's going to be. That's just staggering numbers, right? So anyway, that's unfortunate. That's what's coming. Let me look at something here. Okay, so let me flip the camera back over. This is from the Hurricane Center. It finally updated. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. So the numbers here, let me set this down so you can see the same numbers. So the numbers here, these are the storm surge numbers. So you got the river here down to Inglewood, 10 to 15 feet. Tampa Bay, 10 to 15 feet. Charlotte Harbor, 6 to 10. Yankeetown to Anaclaw River, 5 to 10. Botana Beach, 4 to 7. Suwannee River, you can see the numbers there, right? As you get farther away, St. John's River, you get farther away, it's 1 to 3. But, Tampa Bay area, 10 to 15. You might be higher in the backside of the bay, southeast of downtown Tampa, on the kind of the southeast side of the bay. Yeah. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's it's on the way. It's coming. Let's see what time they have the earliest tropical storm winds here. Earliest reasonable time, hurricane. Looks like Wednesday a.m. Wednesday a.m. is the earliest reasonable time for, that's going to be tropical storm. Yeah, tropical storm force winds, Wednesday 8 a.m. So Wednesday morning, things go downhill rapidly, right? Yep, Wednesday morning, okay? Things rapidly start going downhill. Well, yeah, people are telling me the plane, Hurricane Hunter's go look at that right now. The Hurricane Hunter plane, he dropped 1,000 feet when he hit the eye a while ago. And I guess he's in there now. I don't know if it's that plane or the next plane. It looks like it's the next plane down here. See where he's at. Yeah, there's one that went in the eye. Yeah, but look at that. Look at this pressure here. Sorry, get this camera right. Look at the eye. Let's expand this. Look at this eye. Man, when he went in that eye, look how crazy that is. Down to 9. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Down to 890. Is that right? 895, 898 pressure. Whoa. That's just insane. Wow. Wow. So that's yeah, that's crazy, right? Yeah, you can donate on the YouTube channel. It's great. Yeah, it's we appreciate everybody's support. I tell you, it's gonna be a really long ordeal here dealing with all this. We do have Starlink, we have communications, have gas, power, water, food. So the next 48 hours, I'm fine. And then as we get into Wednesday, I'll be out all day streaming live Wednesday night into Thursday. And I don't know what's going to happen, where we're going to end up at. I have no idea. But I would, my best advice is to you is evacuate. Let me look at something here. Just look out the window there. I'm going to look at a map here. Just kind of give you an idea of something here. Give me just a second here. I'm trying to get all these towns down here right. There's so many coastal areas, you know, south of Clearwater, you know, Treasure Island, all these areas back here. You're going to have bad storm surge, you know, St. Pete Beach, Shell Key. These are all 10 to 15 foot storm surge, right? If you're on the backside of the bay up here, we'll have more data tomorrow. Once the data updates tonight, we'll have better storm surge data and give you more exact on exact, you know, how this eye comes across the bay, or if it's a little bit further north, a little bit further south, we'll have a little bit better data. But my data yesterday said that just southeast of downtown Tampa, this backside of this bay, I'll just tell you some towns here. Gilbertson, back over to Paula Beach, this area, about 15 to 20 foot storm surge back in here. Thank you for your support. 15 to 20 foot storm surge on the backside of the bay. That was based on yesterday's data when it had it making landfall in Tampa Bay. And then it moves south, and it takes about a couple hours for that data to update after the Hurricane Center puts out their new tracks. So it'll be later this evening when we have the new storm surge, how it's going to affect this Tampa Bay, right? If it goes any further north, the storm surge here will be more extreme based on the current track. The current tracks are going to be really bad. If it goes another 5, 10, 15 miles further to the left, you know, right now it has the storm surge, you know, right here in the bay, just west of Tampa Airport at 2 in the morning. I will tell you on the storm surge, if it makes landfall at Cat 3, expect Cat 4 to Cat 5 storm surge. I'll say this like 50 times in the next 24 hours. If it's Cat 4, you're going to have Cat 4 to Cat 5 storm surge. Just because it weakens, that hurricane goes from a 5 to 4 to 3 at landfall, you're still going to have a Cat 4 to Cat 5 storm surge. The waves they're coming, they don't care if the wind drops down from a Cat 5 to Cat 3 or Cat 2, because those waves, it's like throwing a rock in the ocean. That energy, it spreads out over time, right? But you're still going to have the water still going to rise, even if the intensity comes down, because of the motion. You know, if you drop something right next to you, you get that immediate splash, that real sharp wave of water, right? It's a immediate splash. Where if you go from a 5, like 12 hours for landfall, and it drops to a 4 or mid 4, which is kind of what the latest model says is going to happen. And right now, I'm not going to ignore the model, because the model says it's going to happen. And it's like check mark, check mark, check mark. It's verified. As a matter of fact, the model's been behind, right? And it has been behind since last night on how bad it was going to be. It's been horrible all day. Super high in Cat 5, right? So it needs to drop 50 millibars just to get out of the Cat 5 range, right? Winds 175 over 200 miles an hour. And we'll see what the hurricane hunters in there right now, what the surface winds are. They may be 180, gusts to 220. I don't know what they are, right? 8 pressure. Yeah, it's extremely high Cat 5. So we'll see how that goes. Appreciate all the support. So anyway, don't let your guard down. Even if it comes in as a Cat 3, high Cat 2, high Cat 3, low Cat 4, you're going to just up at 1 or 2 categories on the storm surge. At the end of the day, there's going to be lots of wind damage, lots of roofs are coming off, a lot of buildings are going to fail, a lot of windows are going to blow out. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, for this whole event, the number one thing that's going to forever be written in the history book is the massive storm surge along the West Coast and how many things it destructed. I can't tell you which bridges, I can't tell you what piers, I can't tell you what's going to survive and not. I fully expect bridges are going to collapse. I can't tell you which ones, but I think there's going to be structural failures, probably in the Tampa Bay area. I can't tell you which ones are going to fail, but I think the bridges are going to collapse. I think there's going to be causeways that collapse. I think there's going to be water that went places that have never flooded in the history of Florida are going to storm surge this time, right? That's what I think. It's just, I can't put into words how bad it's going to be, right? There's going to be lots of problems over a big area. It's this whole West Coast, Naples, Fort Myers, this whole area, Sanibel Island, Port Charlotte, Englewood, Santa Key, Venice, Sarasota. Sarasota, I think you're going to have super catastrophic storm surge, right? Really bad. The worst in history, probably. Sarasota and Tampa Bay is probably going to be the worst in history you've ever had in the history of Florida is coming. Okay? So anyway, that's guys. I can't tell you much else. I mean, that's what I know. It's we'll see how this unfolds. I'm gonna get out. Food. Most places are closed. All along the coast are closed. So we're 48 hours away we're literally 48 hours away from a disaster, right? And it breaks my heart because I love Tampa. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Got a lot of clients here. Got a lot of clients in the state of Florida. But anyway, it's not going to be fun what's coming, guys. It's going to get really bad. Pray for people in Florida. They're going to need your help. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.